So the entire construction of this is going to be made out of 1.5-inch tubing. So the final length of these should be 1 foot and 11 inches. And these bigger ones right here should be 3 feet by the time you're done with them. So I'm going to quickly clean up all these nasty edges and get it cut down to the exact size that I want. And then after that, we'll go from there. Okay, something that you want to keep in mind when you're welding this is these little marks from the metal when it comes. You're going to want to try and hide these as best you can. They don't like affect how good it's going to work. It just might not look as good as you might want it if you're not going to paint it. It also has like a little bit of a indent where it is. Like you barely will notice, but I just would rather not have it. So I just try and hide them as best as I can. This is going to be up high, so you're not going to see it at all. Then I can't really do much about these. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Alright, so we got this all tacked up and it looks pretty nice actually. It's quite a bit bigger than I thought it was, but considering this is a podium, I guess this is a decent size. So what you'd want to do now is you'd probably want to take a tape measure and check for squareness. So you just go from corner to corner and make sure that they're all the same length on every side. And if they're not, just give it a couple of love taps until it does match up. So I'm not going to do that because I'm absolutely perfect and everything I make is always perfect. I'm just going to like turn off the camera, and when I come back, it'll just be square. I mean, it'll still be square because obviously it's still square. But yeah, tomorrow I'll just weld it all up and get it basically done. Guys, I just got back from school and I just noticed a problem. So this used to be tight, but my brothers like to jump on it for no reason at all. And so now there's a leak, which I did not know about. Lucky for me, it didn't hit the welder, which is pretty good. I guess it splashed a little bit, but I can just wipe that off. So I'm just gonna have to ignore that for now and just weld this up. I'll just wipe that up real quick so I don't electrocute myself, hopefully. So yeah, benefit to working inside of a shed. Alright, this is completely unnecessary, but also completely epic, of course. So these are 2 inches, and I just have this piece which is already cut to size that I just had laying around. So I'm going to cut these into 2 1/8, and then I'm going to drill some holes in them, and then I'll weld them onto the frame. So you don't have to really do this, but it's a nice touch, especially if like it's a gift to someone. And it just makes it a lot easier just to move it around. These are only like $12 for 4 of them, so it was a pretty good deal. So I have my piece of Spam cut out, and if you look, you can tell I'll be able to mount on the tires with a nut here, here, and here, but I won't be able to get one inside here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these, I'm just going to weld it on, so that way when I put it in, it'll fit perfectly. Alright, so we got it all cut out, but if you look at this, when I put it, this hits against this wall, so there's a little bit of a gap right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to weld this one in place as well. I'm going to grind down like right here, so that way it can slide all the way to the side and it'll fit perfectly. So as you can see, the wheels work pretty good. It's like super smooth to roll around even on this unlevel floor. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make basically a square using this angle iron, which we're gonna put around a rim of wood that we're gonna use as the top. So this is actually pretty simple. All you're really gonna do is take some of this angled stuff and you're gonna make 4 of them, and they're gonna be 30 inches long, and you're just gonna cut the ends at 45 degrees. But only do it on like one corner, because that will be like the top, so when it matches up with the other one it won't overlap. But don't cut these sides because that's going to be on the edge still. So I'm going to quickly cut these down and weld it up, and then we'll head off to my school and I'll make the wooden top. Well, that's the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave me a like if you enjoyed the video or if you learned something. This video is clearly like a little bit different than my usual content because I usually don't give measurements for what I make, but this one was more like a tutorial, I guess. Basically, if you wanted to make your own thing, you would just use exactly the same methods that I did and just change the dimensions to like make a desk or a shelf or a nightstand or whatever you really want. You can make like a welding table if you wanted and just put a piece of metal instead of a piece of wood on there. Yeah, so basically it was just an extra fun video I decided to do while I waited for parts to arrive. And those parts have arrived actually by now. They were going to be here in March, but they arrived like 3 weeks early, so they've just been sitting here because I had to finish up the roll cage on the buggy. So now I can start the front suspension since they're here now. So I just gotta take a whole bunch of measurements and get it all cut out, and that's gonna take forever. So that video will be out in maybe a month, maybe sooner if I'm lucky. But as usual, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.